So again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the first and possibly last episode of Global Grads, Mastering the Art of What Now. Jules?
So, hala. Okay, keep it. Oh,
That's okay, Jules.
So, what now? Given the current trend of AI in recent years, are the current graduates of the computer science and IT field cooked right now, or?
That's the question we're going to answer today, Jules. I am JC Lawrence Gulmatico,
And I am Jules Merencillo,
your hosts for today. Okay, so we did just accomplish the Machine Learning Conference 2025
Yeah.
right here in Obrero, USEP, right?
Mhm.
Can you give me your takeaways, Jules?
It was a very interesting event, and it goes to show the kind of innovations and expertise that our batch has for when it comes to research in machine learning and artificial intelligence.
That's true. I was especially entertained with the what was that? That one presentation where he made an email just with his face.
Yeah. Kutung.
Yeah, that was a classmate of ours. Okay, what about you, Jules?
Katong piano.
The piano
you could
one,
play
yeah.
the piano using just your webcam and a sheet of paper. I think that was interesting too.
What we can do today, right? So I believe one of the panelists for that machine learning conference is our guest speaker for today. Isn't that right, Jules?
Yeah, and she was rather helpful in her insights. Without her knowledge and expertise, I don't think that our event would have been as successful as it was. So,
Okay, so for this episode, we have prepared our guest speaker here, an AI and machine learning research analyst, Ma'am Stephanie Palero. So, Ma'am,
Thank you,
good afternoon. So, can you, for our viewers out there, can you introduce to everyone here a bit about yourself?
Wait, first of all, okay lang?
Yeah, well, you
Yes.
can.
Okay lang yung
Okay,
yes.
okay, okay.
Medyo ano ko sa ma'am. Anyway, so hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm Stephanie Palero. I'm a graduate from the University of Mindanao, but I have been invited to become a research panelist for their event. And as for my job position, currently I am an AIML research analyst. Basically, do like researching on AI tools. Also, if there are any other updates regarding tools or in the AI field as a whole, I have to do a rechecking for that one, especially the papers, because it's very important in checking its credibility for finance. And a lot of people will be using that kind of tool, especially the CFOs, the financial people. That I'm not really good in finance, but I'm just good at researching, creating automations, and also AI agents.
Okay, thank you very much. Jules, what do you have to say, Jules?
So that is rather useful. These tools are going to be used by these professionals, and I think that it's important that they have to be on top of the state of the art for our field. So considering that you were once in our shoes as students in a university, so could you walk us through what were your experiences throughout college? What were your highs and lows? Your, shall we say, portfolio, shall we say? Something like that. Feel free to share.
Okay. So overall, my journey is medyo, I'm not really that kind of a studious student kasi first year, the pandemic. So, yeah, at first, very academic person. But by the second year, I was assigned or I was picked to become like the president of our SG. So, like I took the chance to that position, and basically, I think that enables me to like meet new people outside of the university. Because when you're in a leadership position or leadership role, you're going to meet a lot of people, you're going to do a lot of tasks. And so basically, naging 50-50 na yung life ko. Yung time management, 50-50 na siya. By third year, I decided to to join some student organization. At that time, di pa ako set into data talaga or AI. I was just trying to find my way, navigate through life, ano ba yung kailangang skills for as a computer science student. And by the end of fourth year and not really the end. At the start of 4th year, I decided to start an organization for data science. Not a lot of people were like really joining that kasi nga at the very start hindi pa nila alam ano yung gusto nila. So usually yung curious people lang na gusto mag-check out ano ba yung data science, ano ba yung data analyst, data engineer. And at first, like, yeah, it's a really parang good step for me to create that kind of organization because it made me push into this kind of area, yung sa AI/ML field. And by 4th year kasi, yun na yung thesis namin na era. So, during 4th year, dun talaga na-cement yung parang kagustuhan ko na, yeah, I want to get into this kind of field itself. I'm not really into like soft-eng. I mean, okay lang mag-code, okay lang naman. Web, okay lang talaga for me. But, I don't know, siguro, a lot of my classmates are into that and I don't want to become, to like, get into the norm or on the average kung i-compare mo sa normal distribution.
Yes,
but,
yes.
I want to like get into like a very niche or like specific kind of specialty, and that's how I went into delving AI/ML and then research.
Okay, so actually that's very an insight or for foresight for us as students now. Graduate na hopefully next year. Hopefully, we're working on it. Anyways, but like, so what about that what now moment after graduation? So like, let's say your first job applications or your experience trying to enter into the market. Can you give us a bit of insight regarding that?
Okay, so I want to answer in two different kind of scenarios.
Sure.
Kasi we're in the Philippines, so it's either you try to go in locally or you try to go in international. So why 4th year kasi? 3rd year to 4th, I have cemented some portfolios related to data, AI, and stuff. So with that, parang na-post ko na siya on different platforms or in Kaggle. Usually you can just showcase your projects there. Kaggle, and then I created some articles in Medium on like simple diabetes type A, type B. And then once you like created your portfolio kasi even as a student, like very simple portfolio lang, trying to like check the customer churn, kahit ganun lang, that's a very important like first step for you before you like jump into the market. Now, here comes my scenario. Yung scenario ko, by 4th year, medyo na pressure ako kasi I know some people from other schools. Sa UP Min mismo.
Yeah.
I know some people over there that already has a job by 3rd or 4th year.
That's true.
So, the moment I I hear that, they have a damn job. They have a job na. So, yung ginawa ko, naghanap din ako ng job. So, by 4th year, nakakuha ko ng job, and then, like, I was invited, or someone asked me in LinkedIn as well na if I want to, like, get into AI. And I took the job, obviously. Merong parang challenge at the very start, because that was, like, the first time na I did something na I am being paid. And I was shocked with the salary, of course, because it's international na job na siya. So, yung scenario na gusto ko i-explain for now is, yung scenario 1 is if local ka. So, I checked the market. I've checked the market here in the Philippines, and if you compare it to like how you want to live as like in the specific role talaga, yung mga data analyst or data engineer, yung entry nila is around 30 to 40K. And like, for me, not really for me, but I mean, okay na siguro, but medyo low kasi siya when compared to like, how like yung skill mo good, yung energy mo na i-pour into that job alone, tapos 30 to 40K. Tapos bawasan pa yan ng mga taxes, yung mga other na mga automatically madeduct sa salary mo from 40K, 35K na. I've heard from my brother na yung taxes niya, as far as he knows, is pag-estimate niya around 20K yung na-deduct sa kanya. So, di ba? Like, That's on scenario 1. And on scenario 2 is if you want to like go in international, you have to build your portfolio, build in your LinkedIn, and make sure na meron kayong website. Personal website. Yung personal website is from 3rd year pa. And medyo not really that good. But it has the details that I did, yung mga certifications. And hindi lang siya for portfolio lang. You should get international certifications. So for example, if you have joined yung sa DataCamp, meron silang mga international certifications if you've completed some projects. Aside from that, meron sa Coursera, but may bayad doon. So yung ginawa ko before, nag-avail ako ng mga scholarship ni government. I just use some dummy email. Baka kasi gamitin na for but yeah, it's a good thing for me kasi na I have the Coursera one. I also have the data engineering one sa DataCamp. So, advice is to get into certain groups. So, for example, Dorian Pai, Data Engineering Pilipinas, meron silang mga offer over there na you can learn. So, for the Dorian Pai, or yung sa amin, is mga workshops or events. Recently, nag-PyCon Davao kami. Now, for the Data Engineering Philippines or Pilipinas, yung sa Facebook group, if you have track, is meron silang mga offer na or like parang forms na you can apply to get a scholarship for DataCamp. So sa DataCamp, maraming courses that you might want to check out. Very, very a lot of courses.
Yeah, actually, like, helpful jud ang DataCamp. Like,
nag-DataCamp ka?
we've actually, in our organization, nami, like, DataCamp, we're still working on the renewal. But, yeah, it was a really helpful na tool for data science. I think na everyone that was under our organization who had benefited from it, they did benefit a lot from it. So,
How come I've never heard of it, Jules?
what do you mean you haven't heard of it?
I don't think I was told, Jules. Anyway, so yeah. So like it's very interesting that you separate the markets, right, from the local and the international market. I do have like a small question for that. So when we talk about for example, the requirements for the international market and the local market, do you think that it's easier to get into the local industry than the
Good
international
question.
industry?
Good question. Napansin ko kasi, I tried to apply locally ha. Wala lang, kasi gusto ko lang i-try. Gusto ko lang like for data mo, for data gathering. I want to compare the experience I had when I tried to look for a job locally and international. Locally, madami silang requirements. Then, sa LinkedIn, makita mo talaga ano yung local or ano yung international level. Kasi, or siguro for me lang ha. Sa local, marami silang requirements. Madami ka rin gagawin na mga paperworks or documents. You need to go to different sectors or parts of the government just to get certain documents. You have to pay for that document. Tapos mag-processing pa yan mga 2 to 5 days. Tapos medyo hassle siya. But at the end of the day, may benefit ka rin kasi nakuha mo na yung other documents mo. And aside from that is, meron silang different levels of interview, something like first interview, medyo siguro vibe check or something. Second interview, technical check. Third, I don't know the reason for the third, but probably for the salary conversation and expectations. Yan, so madaming processes when you try to apply locally. Now, compared to international, or siguro sa employer ko lang, siya kasi mismo yung nagka-chat ko. Then siya mismo yung nag-evaluate sa skills ko, siya yung naka-call ko na, are you good with this kind of range? And then I said, oh yeah, it's good for me. I-convert sa background, i-convert ko na siya into peso. Yeah, it's good for me! Yeah, it's good for me, sir. I mean, I know sir sa kanila, so it's good for me, the name niya. And that was just like one night. Wala na masyadong follow-up, wala na masyadong email back and forth. So, just like a casual conversation and then ended na. I'm not saying na all of this kind of experience for international jobs ha. So, it might be different for others and sa iba siguro mas hectic. Siguro walang government documents, but yung process din is may parang 3-level phase or 3-level processing. But if you have the skills kasi to back it up, or if the employer already saw na meron kang ganito, ganyan, dire-diretso na kasi silang, I want you to do this job. Straight to the point, ha? I want you to do this job for this and that. Are you okay? Then, yeah, I can just check this out. What do you want from me? Role and responsibilities. You need to parang klaro talaga lahat. So, when you speak to international employers is, dapat kasi direct to the point. Bawal mahiya doon. I think, no, you don't. Dapat kasi, for me, it's something. But compared to locally is, there's this one time na yung interviewer is online. And then I didn't know na meron pala akong kasama na mga yeah. Siguro mga 3 to 5 people. I'm shocked na there are 5 or 4 other people in the same Google Meet. So okay, sige. Yung ginawa lang is, sige, next.
Oh no.
Go. Next is, ito yung link. Kasi punta ka sa kabilang room or kabilang Google Meet. And after that, that was for a different role, project management. So I think for me is, yung project management okay siya for 4th year ko. Kasi may thesis ako. But yung job ko right now is, when I was in 4th year, parang half lang ako. Not really a full-time, so partial lang.
Part-time na, no?
Yeah, part-time. So, very flexible and then understandable din sila. So, yeah, that's the comparison. My experience lang yun.
Personally, wala akong naka-experience ng interview na isang same room ang waiting. I could not. I feel like, back out na lang ako siguro niya. I can't. Ikaw, Jules, what do you know?
That's rather, how should I say this, mahiya naman punta sa
It's kind of nerve-wracking, no? Seeing other applicants sila.
Madunggan nila yung mga
Wala man nag-structure yung sa Google Calendar. Char.
Ikaw, Jules, do you have any,
So, given the circumstances and challenges today, what would you think the local industry would need to be in order to compete with the international industry?
Sa international, hindi nila gina-check yung educational background mo. They just check your skill level, yung portfolio mo. And for them, enough na kasi yung sa Coursera. Based on experience, enough na yung sa Coursera na mga certificate, yung AWS certificate mo. That's a very high level certificate na for them. And they don't check kung saang school ka nang galing. If either you're from UM, UP, or USEP, that does not ask sa akin. Yung tinanong lang talaga is yung skill level or yung technical level ko. As well as yung communication or leadership skill, because leadership skill is very important. And for local companies to keep up probably is, hindi sila mas stuck on some parang old mindset good na very corporate or very madaming process. Siguro they can there's this company that I know na may iba yung parang yung mentality nila compared to a corporate kind of mentality. So for example, yung sa corporate or most of the companies here is medyo strict sila masyado sa program nila, wala masyadong flexibility. Then there's no room for creativity. Now there's another company na it encourages you to grow, to explore more of your skill, and also it encourages you to step out of your circle, because I think every Saturday sa company nila, they have this kind of presentation kung sino yung mapili or mabunod kung sino yung next presentation.
I see.
So very flexible, very parang yung environment nila is very parang di siya masyado toxic. Yeah. So, most of the companies that, like, probably here, I mean, I'm talking about in Davao pa lang, is, I can see na medyo toxic sila. May parang, may parang time control. Yung,
Micromanagement.
pati yung screen, I heard this from someone, pati yung screen nila is gonna screenshot daw every second or every minute. And that's like, oh my god, hindi ko na ako makabreathe. I want to check other social media. But, yeah, like, siguro, yeah, that's parang malimit yung parang free time on that certain company alone. And, medyo, like, parang confined kasi yung movements nila. But when you're, for a company to like, to keep up siguro, not just for like, the skill level, siguro, it's like the environment itself. Kasi the environment, it's like huge yung parang impact niya when it comes to like, you're trying to keep up with the rest of the companies outside of the Philippines. And I think that's what Manila or yung mga companies sa BGC right now is doing. Kasi I know someone na sa PNG siya nag-work and yung environment nila dun is very parang you have the time for yourself to like to get some coffee, to like to sleep or nap. Then meron din silang hybrid setup. So, yeah, very good.
Okay, so medyo scary for us na mga mag-graduate na going into the market, into the industry. Pero, so stating from what you said po na, let's say, academic skills versus practical skills, companies don't really look much into the academic na portion, or at least they look more into the practical na skills compared to the academic na portion. Like, let's say, yung honors or yung GPA mo.
In a different field, that's very important. But as I've noticed in the tech industry or the tech field, yung una talaga or yung most important thing that they check is your skill level, tech skill, and your portfolio. Maybe they'll just check your education, but sa resume ko, that's on the very bottom na. Because that's not a very important information. You need to highlight your skill, ano yung alam mo, yung tech stack mo, and yung soft skills, hard skills, you're good with communication. You also need to highlight your experience, not just on simple projects ha. Siguro you can highlight your volunteering for tech groups, because that's showing na you have this leadership skill or your volunteering skill. Because sa volunteering skill, you're learning how to communicate, how to take a task, how to like own up to a responsibility. So that's a good kind of highlight sa resume na balance yung project, balance yung volunteering information. But yung most important is yung sa very top is your tech stack, soft skill, hard skill. That's like the most important thing that they'll look into. Pag kita pa lang sa resume, if they have this kind of job that they're looking for someone, for example, data engineering, you need to know SQL or SQL or any other like Python. Pag nandun na yun siya sa paper mo, kita pa lang nila, okay, can just waitlist this one. And then the rest, wala na. Yeah, so very important is to highlight the skills, the skill level, tech stack, portfolio. And yeah, importante naman yung academics. I'm not saying na you need to like give up your college right now, but you need to finish your degree. Kasi nga, that's still very important. And locally, in the Philippines, they'll still look for someone na nakatapos ng Bachelor of CS or IT.
Thank you very much, Miss. So, in your perspective, do you think the perception and approach to hiring the fresh graduates of CS and IT have changed over the years? Are they more accepting or are they more cautious now?
I'm not sure if they're more cautious. Before, siguro, more accepting. Kasi limited lang yung mga graduates before sa CS or IT. But recently, there's this surge from numbers, like enrollees. Madami na masyadong IT, CS na graduate. So, medyo crowded na yung market. So, iluganay na ni siya og position. Kinsay makauna or kinsay mas strong on this area will get the job. Sorry, the job. So, the most important thing to do right now is to build up your portfolio or skills. Okay lang yung academics because you need to get out of college, but importantly sa fourth year, highlight your projects outside of the academe. Like you're not being told to do this, to do that. You're like proactively doing projects that you want to highlight for your resume or for the companies na makita nila kaagad. So that's for like the companies or those trying to hire. And recently, siguro, how do I explain this one? Normal distribution. So, if you're on average, siguro, magka-problema ka. Kasi madami masyadong graduates. So, that's on the average, ha? You're in the middle. If you think na nasa middle ka pa. But if you're ahead of your peers or you're ahead of your classmates, meron ka na maraming projects, maraming engagements, you're at the upper echelon or the upper area. You're at the 90% people, or not 90% people, sorry, wrong. At the 90% na area or quartile, nandun ka, it means na you have this parang advantage na to go in internationally. Or, if you want to go in locally, medyo di na siya masyadong that hard, that difficult. Kasi nga, you know your skill well. And people tend to, or companies tend to hire new people if they want juniors to take in the job, or if they see na medyo kulang pa yung team nila. So, target the very parang niche na company. Not just like, I'm a CS or IT graduate, I want to be in the tech company. There are a lot of companies kasi na they're looking into IT or CS. So, you can take a look into those companies, and they're usually open kasi some students, I don't know why, they're not looking into any other areas or companies. I mean, all fields kasi need CS or IT. So, hindi lang dapat kayo focus on, oh, this tech company needs this or that. There are other companies that offers more, and baka grow kaya sa person. Siguro sa retail, or like sa corporates or corporate companies, but that's on like a different field, ha? But you're still going to get the CSIT related role, and wala na sigurong mag-judge on you for that. Siguro may other people na mag-judge, but you're still doing your job. So basically, it's still a match to what you have learned in college.
Okay, so, well, actually, yeah, but speaking of like opportunities in looking for these mga tech industry, for example, companies in the tech industry, do you think that the universities now, here in the Philippines at least, like they prepare students well enough, like the tech students well enough para maka-integrate into the industry? And if there's something that you could possibly change in the universities, what would it be so that they can better prepare these tech students?
I'm gonna say no. Kasi the academy does not really prepare the students for these kinds of level na parang tech-related jobs or positions, because they're stuck in this academe level of mindset. So, for example, first year, you're going to learn the basics. Second year, another basics. Third, web, or fourth, or ML or AI. Yung college kasi is they're just diving, or the academe as a whole, they're just diving into textbooks or theories. So you're not really applying what you have learned immediately. So siguro merong projects or any other activities, but that's just for deliverables on your end. Then you don't have, siguro, I'm not sure sa inyong school, but 3 weeks or weeks pa lang, just 1 week, you're given that task already. But ideally, that should be like a long kind of preparation for you to like do the project correctly. So as long as yung mindset ng mga students or before ako, as long as I just pass this one, okay na. That's like because of a deadline kasi. So, as long as I pass this one, okay na for me. And another subject na naman, that's a different kind of theory or a different kind of subject that we're talking about. So, another project na naman. Parang hindi kasi masyadong ma-connect ano yung purpose on each project. Siguro, basically, I'm just talking about the syllabus itself ng mga academe. It's not really that updated or not well coordinated. Sure. Baka ma-flag ako ng
I don't know, it's okay.
No, that's fine.
That's my opinion. Free speech. But, yeah. Siguro, to improve that one is look more into specialties. CSIT, medyo general pa kasi yan. If you want to pursue like a specific role, that's on a specific kind of major. So, different tech stack yung kailangan mong tutunan, and avoid the rest of the subjects that are not really contributing to your overall
Parang
yeah
portfolio.
yeah
ano.
portfolio. Meron si other subject na hindi masyado important, siguro for me because I'm looking into a different specific kind of field. And I think na with specificity sa mga courses or how it is laid out sa syllabus, it's much more helpful for the student to keep up with the market.
Okay, so with regards to your opinion on the syllabus, the academe and how they aren't really preparing students, would you think that your organizational work or experience provided much more leverage than what the academe has provided, and by how much, if so?
Okay. I say yes kasi with my engagement to the community or different communities kasi I meet new people. So, meeting these people actually like opened my horizon or perspective na, oh, I can just do this or do that. Kasi if you surround yourself with these kinds of people, you're being influenced by them. So, I say na siguro 60% or 60-70. Kasi there's this 10% na ilalaan ko sa CSG. Because that's the hectic part of my college. Medyo ako dun. Very eventful kasi yan, yung sa CSG ko na role. So, 60 on the engagement with the different kinds of communities. And with them kasi, you're being offered to learn a lot of things. And sa events, you're being introduced to a lot of topics, a lot of tech or tools na you want to like check out or learn. And not just on the intellectual part I'm also talking about the leadership part because you're also talking to a lot of people, you're also leading groups. So I'm the background context na lang. I'm the head of programs in Durian Pie. So I've handled committees or people that I want to do this, I want to do that. So by the end of this week, dapat nandito na tayo. So with the leadership part, I've learned to use different tools like the Asana or the Monday.com. So I've learned those tools that was very important when it comes to the tech industry. Sa role ko right now, we're using Asana. So wala kasing time lahat ng tao to like teach you ano ba yan. Dapat kasi alam mo na yan. So there's the volunteering experience na naka-add ako doon. Asana, I know how to use this, that, I learn to manage my time. Char? No, not really. But yeah, so 60% yung parang advantage ko with the community. So, in conclusion, don't just be stuck in the academe. Learn how to go out of that circle.
Okay. That's actually very good advice, no? Especially sa mga students na that just go for the curriculum. They don't go. They don't join mga orgs.
They don't check ano yung outside of the curriculum. Yung curriculum kasi, para siyang introduction. So you've learned this and that, then what next? You can just check the internet. Ano yung
That's
next
true.
na gusto mong i-learn, na connected sa course na yun, or sa syllabus, or sa subject na yun. Don't just like stop that learning, like go over the academy.
That's true. Okay, so let's actually have one last question before we move to the next segment na lang. For this one, this question kay, let's say, for the students out there, the CS and IT students that can only have time for one or two big projects, what do you think would be the best kind of project to present as evidence of their skills? Like maybe a complex machine learning model or a fully developed web app or something like that?
Okay. It depends on the level or gustong project ni person. So if like beginner level lang, okay lang 2 projects. Carry yan around ilang weeks lang. But if you're trying to like do an intermediate level project, focus on one project lang. So with that one project, nandun na dapat lahat. Ano yung structure ni project, ano yung design ni project, like the overall architectural design ni project ha. Included na doon yung structure ng code, paano i-structure mo yung directories. So, yeah, that's why if they're trying to like create projects, check on the level first, if kaya ba ni person. If easy lang, like for example, a simple classification or regression, pwede 2. Just marami namang data in Kaggle. You can just play with the data there. So 2 projects if easy level, but if intermediate or hard level, that's a bit of a need ng dedication. So isa lang. So that's my advice for those trying to like build up their portfolio. And if kung ano man klaseng project, depende if you're trying to like establish a data analyst or data engineering. Yung data engineering is para siyang intermediate level kasi. Yung data analyst, okay lang yan, mga entry or easy level projects. But I'm not really sure what to like parang advise ano yung specific talaga na type na project. But they can just check out online ano yung parang famous or for parang ano yung makita nila na projects ng ilan, and then they can try it out, and then if meron silang na-build up na skill, they can do their very own idea. So if may idea sila na gusto ko mag-try ng ganitong image classification, then they can pursue that kind of project.
I see. Okay, so to introduce Joe sa ating next segment.
Okay, so thank you very much, Miss, for answering our questions. And now, our next segment is we've actually feel free. So we've actually taken a look at a bunch of Reddit posts from the subreddit and
Pinoy programmer.
Yeah, Pinoy programmers. So they've asked a bunch of questions regarding the CS and IT industry, and we're going to read some of them today. So if you have any opinions or your answers or perspectives, please share it with us. Okay, so
Okay. I'll read it. Okay, wait. The paper is very, very messed up. Okay, pagunit sa Joseph. Okay, one side. Okay.
Okay, sige.
So user NoChip4607 asks, I'm 27 and I finished my computer science degree in April. Applied hard for a few months but never got an interview. I took a few months off focusing on other things in life, and now I'm looking at tech from a new perspective. I never clearly knew what I wanted to do with my degree, nor specialized in anything. I just have the base level knowledge in a lot of areas, which is good, but I really want to start focusing on one career path. So my question is there anything out there that can help me figure out what I want to specialize in, whether it be online personality quizzes, articles, or YouTube videos? I hear about different tech stacks within software engineering, cloud development, DevOps, data analysis, cybersecurity, etc. But nothing in particular immediately catches my interest. I know it may take a while to ever land a role in this market. So I just want to find something to focus on and learn independently in the meantime. Any help is appreciated.
Not sure ako if merong parang MBTI MBTI quiz for careers, but one of the reasons why I pursued data analyst kasi is because of my MBTI. So, INTP siya, tapos may nilagay doon na analyst. So, okay. But, that's just like a small portion ha, na parang nag-joke sa akin for this. That's not really decision-changing na reason. But, I'm not sure what to say if you want to check out different kinds of specialty. Siguro just start on one thing. For example, soft dev. So, try to start that path first. Makita mo kasi na if para sa'yo or hindi para sa'yo. So, 1 to 2 months, if makasurvive ka, siguro para sa'yo. So, go for it. After that path, if nakabuild up na ng projects, then try to apply to the software development jobs or soft-end jobs. And also check the market, ano yung parang hinahanap usually. But that's on the current kasi. So, just check ano yung parang possible positions na you can get in the future. And then try to plan out yung parang roadmap mo to reach that kind of level. So, yes. Just start any. Then if you survive, then siguro that's for you.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Thank you very much.
Next question. So, Reasonless asks, all I've heard recently is just scary shit about finding a job in this field. It's just getting harder and harder because of AI. Just finished my first year in computer science, and I can't deny the anxiety is there, lol. Will a strong portfolio still be able to land me a job in the future, or should I start considering another course?
Nag-apply na ba siya?
I would assume though, since first year pa siya
First, okay. Recently graduate ba yun?
Ano pa, first year pa siya.
First
Bago
year
lang
pa
siya
siya, and then, yun yung nakita niya sa news. Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you see the reels, right, yung
Yung
our
job.
computer science students cook, or yung top 10 possible homeless na
Homeless na, no?
Yeah.
I've seen that kind of meme. Pati yung meme na, yung job application.
Ayun yung job application for
Ginawa.
Yeah.
parang jump scare.
Yeah, ganang job scare. I say na, first year pa, no? I say na, try to finish sa first year, tas if gusto talaga niya, then that person can proceed. Kasi usually in CS or IT, mag-dwindle kasi yung numbers. Like, the more you get into the college. Like, third year, fourth year, siguro mas mag-lessen yung number of people, either by various reasons or they have chosen to do another course. But if that person actually started na, like 5 months in na talaga siya, then there's no backing out. Just like finish the course. Man. Just, but if like first month pa lang or something, wala pa siya naka-enter sa like overall, talaga, the year, for the first year, if he wants to check out other na mga courses, he can. But computer science and IT is actually a very important skill kasi lahat na ng mga processes ngayon is digitalized.
That's true.
So, we can just replace other people.
Okay, so actually, so like considering us as third year now, we really can't back out anymore. No more
Wala
backing out
option.
this time. Okay, I think we have one last question. Okay, so I'll read this one. Hello everyone, I'm currently a grade 12 ICT student. So wala pa siya university. And I'm reconsidering if I should still pursue computer science as my course to take in college. It all started in the times of the pandemic when I was thinking of a career to pursue. A teacher told us that a career involving technology is in demand and would be a good choice. However, it's been like 2 to 3 years and I doubt the demand on CS or IT is still the same as it was a few years ago. So, is computer science still good today, and will it still be in the future here in the Philippines?
I say those like specific fields related to the computer science is still relevant kasi important kasi pa rin yung mga jobs or roles na yun. And if nasa grade 12 pa siya, I'm not sure if I can suggest this one. That person can just do certifications online sa courses, like sa Coursera, or any other certifications that could help that person build up their portfolio, and then try to apply for a job. Yung academe kasi, okay siya ha. Okay siya, but if you want to like get ahead of everyone already, I say na just take courses online, take certifications. If like naka-build up na ka ng parang LinkedIn mo or like, your portfolio itself, plus na kasi yun, they're not actually looking for ano yung age nitong person na to. Ano yung naka-finish ng college. It's also like a good thing that you finish college, but if you're actually really good, if that person is like very SSS level na siya yung skills niya, that person can find a job. But if hindi talaga passion niya, you can just look for another course. And if gusto talaga yan yung computer science or data, just proceed. Kasi baka, what if yun din yung iniisip ng iba?
That's true.
I will not go into computer science or data science kasi nag-high yung demand. But that person is still in grade 12. So, may 4 years pa siya. So, why not just go through it? Kasi baka mag-dwindle yung numbers.
That's true.
The trend, nagbaba yung trend.
Actually, so now, thank you very much. Na. So this is, I think, the last segment. Very quick,
Yeah.
Anisha. Jules explain.
So, to end this podcast on a rather calming note, we're going to have a fast talk. So, we're going to ask a series of questions in 1 minute and try to answer them as fast as you can. Hopefully, no, don't worry, they'll be easy questions. So, are you ready?
Okay, is everyone ready?
Okay.
Sige, let's
Okay,
go.
okay, ready, set, go!
Okay. Startup or big tech?
Big tech.
Front end or back end?
Back end.
Mobile apps or AI models?
AI models.
Product management or software engineering?
Product management.
Freelance or corporate 9 to 5?
Freelance.
Jack of all trades or master of one?
Jack of all trades.
Remote work or office with snacks?
Remote! My grab.
Silent office or co-working space?
Silent office.
Suit and tie or hoodie and jeans?
Suit and... Ay, hoodie and jeans!
Okay. What is the best operating system?
Linux.
See?
Dark mode or light mode?
Dark mode.
Okay. Python or R?
Python.
Okay. JetBrains or VS Code?
Yes, good.
Okay. Stack Overflow or ChatGPT?
Stack Overflow.
Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
Last question. Delete GitHub or delete LinkedIn?
This one's hard.
GitHub, because I have other...
Okay.
Okay, galing. Uy, but right on
I
time.
have
We're
other...
right on time.
websites. Sorry.
Okay, so thank you very much, Miss...
My grade below you.
That's true. That's true. That's dapat no exceptions. Delete talaga. Okay. Anyways, thank you very much, Miss Valero. So, that's gonna be it for today. This has been JC Lawrence Gulmatico.
And this has been Jules Merencillo.
This has been what was the title of our Frog podcast? I already forgot. Global Grads, mastering the art of what now. Thank you very much, and will there be a next time? Hopefully there'll be a next time.
Hopefully. Thank you very much, Miss.
Miss.